What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's stock challenge, we have Etsy versus eBay. Now, the reason I'm comparing these two companies is Etsy was actually, I was asked by a subscriber to take a look at Etsy. And upon my initial look, I was actually amazed by the company and the revenue that they were bringing in. And I actually picked up shares of eBay last week. So I thought it would be a good comparison. I know the business models are pretty different. I think that Etsy is a market for creatives. You create these proprietary items and you sell them on the Etsy marketplace. eBay is more of an auction marketplace, from what I understand. I use eBay quite a bit, but this is more of an auction marketplace. So the business models are a little bit different, but nonetheless, I think they're two comparable companies because at the end of the day, they are just marketplaces. So I took a look at Etsy versus eBay. And like I said, Etsy is a really cool company. And I was surprised by how well the revenue is doing. But once again, let's look at things like valuation. Let's look at things like market cap. Let's look at things like revenue and see if we can determine which one would be the better buy at this point in time. So let's do what we normally do on this channel, guys, and let's dig into the numbers, the fundamentals, the valuation analytics, and let's see which one represents the best buy right now. All right, guys, so let's get into it. First thing we want to look at is the company's market cap. Now, the reason market cap is important is because I say it all the time. When you're buying stocks, you're becoming an owner of the company. So what you want to do is prepare like you want to prepare and pretend like you're a billionaire and you're looking to buy out the entire company. Because once again, when you buy these stocks, you're becoming a shareholder. So you are an owner. So act like you're an owner. So market cap is important because it gives us the total value of the company. So market cap is the number of shares outstanding times the current market price. That'll give you the total value of the company. So for this experiment, eBay is going to be in orange, Etsy is going to be in yellow. Etsy is going to be in blue. Etsy's current market cap is $21.7 billion. That's what it will cost you to buy the entire company. eBay's market cap is $43.8 billion. So eBay is worth about two times what Etsy is worth. So let's see if that's justified. That should, if it's worth that much more, it should show in revenue, it should show in net income, it should show in cash, etc. So we'll see as we go down the line. Speaking of revenue and net income, that's the next thing we're going to look at. These two are paramount to me. Anytime I'm looking to buy a stock, I want to know that the company is making money and that they're keeping a large percentage of it. It's very important to me. I want to see that their net income is 10% or more. That's very important to me. Should be important to you as well. So currently, Etsy's revenue is at $2 billion. Their net income is at about $500 million. So they're keeping over 20% of their revenue as net income. That's a positive. eBay's current revenue is $11.3 billion. They're keeping close to $3 billion, which is once again is above 20%, close to 25%. And that's a strong positive to me. Once again, you want to see that number at about 10%. You want companies keeping at least 10% of their revenue. You want that to trickle down to net income. So that's a positive for both companies. And I'm willing to bet that that's a norm for the industry. The industry margin is probably about 20%, judging from these two companies. Next thing we want to look at, and let's take a look at, free cash flow. Free cash flow is very important as well, because I say it all the time. Companies in positions where they have favorable free cash flow, they can do what? They can do things that are going to enhance your shareholder value. So if a company has free cash flow, they can buy back shares, they can issue a dividend, they can make investments that are going to potentially produce fruit in the future. They can do things that are going to be good for you as a shareholder. They can do things that can make the share price go up. Companies who don't have cash, they're more limited in that capacity. They don't have as much power. So Etsy has a current free cash flow standing of $787 million. eBay has free cash flow of $2.3 billion. eBay is clearly in the more favorable position. Now, I haven't heard of eBay potentially doing any acquisitions or buying any other companies or mergers, anything like that. I haven't heard anything of them issuing a share buyback program. But, they very well could with such a nice cash position. So eBay is the clear winner here. So next, let's get into some of the old school valuation metrics. I say it all the time, you know, the goal a lot of the time is to buy companies cheap, but how do you know if you're buying a company on the cheap? Warren Buffett, he used to say it all the time. He said, I wanted to buy $1 for 50 cents. So how do you know? One of the oldest ways to know, and you know, some people think that this method is archaic, but one of the oldest ways to know is the old PE ratio, the price to earnings ratio. So let's look at it. Etsy's current PE ratio is 48.4. That's pretty high by normal standards. Typically, when you hear people speak of a low PE, they want to see 20 and under. But as I showed you guys in my last video on PE, what you want to do with this number is you want to compare it to its industry. So you want to compare Etsy's PE to its industry. You want to compare it to the index it trades in, and you want to compare it to itself. But let's stick to this situation because we're just comparing it to eBay at this time, which is a competitor. eBay's current PE is 15. Now, by most standards, that's considered low. It's under 20, it's at 15. Most people who care about the PE ratio would consider a 15 PE to be low. So eBay is the clear winner here. Now, there's a PE saying. So let's go over the PE saying once again. So the saying goes as such, and let's use eBay's PE as the fill-in for this saying. So for every $1 of eBay earnings, you're paying $15.63. That's the PE saying. You want to plug in the company's PE to that saying to give you an idea of what you're paying for $1 earnings, $1 of earnings for the company. So remember that going forward. The next valuation metric that we want to look at, and this one I haven't really gone over, I'm probably going to do a video on this one, is the price to sales ratio. It's not similar to the PE, but the saying applies here as well. And this one is an older, more reliable, some would say archaic valuation method. They like to call everything granny now, grandpa and boomer. Anytime anything's older than 20 years old is considered boomer, a boomer valuation metric now. But nonetheless, price to sales is also a tried and true older valuation metric. And at this point, Etsy's price to sales ratio is 12. eBay's price to sales ratio is just 4. So clearly, it looks like eBay is the best company to look at when you're talking about buying a cheap company. Also, eBay looks like the net income is going to be better, the revenue is going to be better, and they're in a more favorable cash position. So if I were to choose between two of these stocks now, if you were to pull my arm and make me choose, I would have to go with eBay, which I've done already because I bought in some shares last week. So in this comparison, I got to go with eBay. They're the clear winner. I would recommend eBay over Etsy at this point, but that's not to take anything away from Etsy. I'm probably going to do a standalone video on Etsy because, like I said, I looked at their revenue, and their revenue is growing really nicely, and it's been going like this even before COVID. So I was telling you guys before in one of my other videos, when you're looking at revenue, be careful of companies that are getting a really big COVID push right now, because I think that when we get into next year, as earnings progresses, we're going to see a lot of companies start to pull back from their percentage gains, their year-over-year percentages, because the COVID push is going to be gone. But eBay is Etsy is one of the companies that was growing nicely before COVID, and I expect that to continue afterwards. So that's today's stock showdown, guys. eBay is the clear winner here. Like I said, I bought in shares last week. I'm probably going to hold the company for quite a while. I think the PE is very low. I think the price is low. The valuation looks good. So I'm really happy with my purchase in eBay, and I'm going to be a shareholder for quite a while. So that's all I got, guys. If you got any comments, be sure to leave it in the comment section. If you want more info, hit the subscribe button, support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm Ty. This is Stock Muscle. Thanks for dropping in, guys.